started a live stream. Why do that? I don't know. It's been a long time since I've done that on here. Oh, why not? This might be a flop, depending on if anyone comes on here or not, so we'll see. Also probably sound like a robot. I don't know. I haven't checked. I should probably do that, but somebody will eventually tell me. So, yeah, I don't know. Hope you're all doing alright. Thanksgiving happened. That was a thing. The audio before I continue talking. That's what I'm gonna do. Do I sound okay? I really hope I do. Hopefully not a robot. I don't know. We'll see. I really hope I do. No, it's not. That's going in and out of robot. But if other people on, it wouldn't matter. How was everyone's Thanksgiving? If you can understand me. I didn't plan this. I was just bored. I figured, why not? I don't know if just going or not. It really depends on everybody else. But we'll see. It's a bit late for boy, I think. But I thought I'd try it out. See if people are down. But yeah, I'm rereading the Thrawn trilogy, so that's something. I disagree with all the new haters. I still think it's good. Is it the epitome of great, like it's hyped up to be? No, it's like a B average. It's a good. It's not the best thing that he ever produced. We have Jedi Order for that. We have Darth Bane. We have Darth Plagueis. Those are like peak EU. But Thrawn trilogy is still solid. Will we like Dark Empire more than the Thrawn trilogy? We'll see. But do I sound it now that there's people here? I probably don't. I worked, but I mean that being said, it wasn't a super hard day, as it was Thanksgiving. It was okay. Marcel, my man. But yeah, I finished the Legends of Dune trilogy by by Brian Herbert and Kevin J. Anderson. I really enjoyed it. Rereading the Thrawn trilogy. I got a new phone because my old phone, you can't see the screen, like it's just black, which is really scary because I don't know if I'll be able to transfer everything over. I have a bunch of videos lined up for you guys, and I don't know if I'm gonna be able to show them now because I don't know if I'll be able to transfer it over. There's also the issue that I had downloaded every single for hours upon hours upon hours upon month, downloaded in EPUB format every single short story in the expanded universe on that phone. Moreover, the websites I used to get those no longer exist, which means that acquiring short stories will not be so simple anymore. So, I figured that all out. But I sound like a robot? I feel like probably do. Really hope if other people are on, but I don't know. What did you guys do for Thanksgiving? I mean, I'll probably spend time with your family, but anything interesting? No, I'm probably gonna keep going in and out. It's not fun. What can you do? But yeah, I don't know. I just did this to do it. But yeah, Marcel feels it. He knows. Probably had a harder than I did. But yeah, I don't know. I thought, Lance has live streamed a little bit. Matt is so sparingly with it. So I thought, I have to have it belong. The thing is how my internet sucks. Probably won't keep it unless other people come on. Because I'm just gonna keep dying, so yeah, it is what it is. But yeah, I can do be a real and let's do some freaking Halo 2 quotes just because I'm bored. You don't understand it because you won't be able to hear me properly anyway. But yeah, I missed you guys. Just been busy. That's understandable. I did this kind of late for all of you. But yeah, I tried. It ends up being a shorter one, It's okay. But I thought I'd attempt it. Hello to script. I don't know. There we go. I found the script. I'm gonna keep it on much longer. But doesn't seem like it's working out in my favor, so probably just gonna turn it off. But I tried. Oh hey, it's Titus.
Alex, my
Hey.
brother, how's it been?
It's been all right. How about you?
As well, but I gotta go to school tomorrow, so
That's
not
fair.
happy about that.
Yeah. How's
Hmm?
the week off? How's the week off been?
It's been fun. I've been spending time with my family up at my uncle's house. What about you?
I just worked.
Just worked?
Yeah.
What'd you do for
The whole
Thanksgiving?
week.
You
So,
worked Thanksgiving?
yes.
So
8 hours.
when did you get to spend time with family?
I did it. But
You didn't?
it's okay. No, it's okay. But I mean, they didn't do much anyway. It was just my mom, my dad, and my brother, and they just ate some food and then went to bed. So I didn't miss too much. But yeah, that's all it was.
Understandable.
Yeah, but I mean, I've been reading you slowly, so that's been cool. But
You said you've been reading EU slowly?
yeah, well, because I've been so busy. So
All right.
I mean, everything now is pretty much I've read already. So minus the Crystal Star and Crimson Empire, which I've never read.
Mm.
So it was the only things I missed. So, and the Chewbacca comic that takes place after the first New Jedi.
Mm. Are you still in the X-Wing novels in your reviews?
Yes, that's another thing. So Thursday um, night after Thanksgiving, I
Mm.
got home and my phone was like half the screen was black. You couldn't see anything. I could still interact with it, but I couldn't see anything. So my phone was broken. So I had to buy a new one. So now it's just a matter of transferring all the information over.
Mm.
However, certain files won't, and some of those are EPUB files that I uh, had because I had an app where I put EPUB files, which were I found all the short stories of the expanded universe,
Mm.
and it took like months of searching and downloading to get all of them.
Mm.
Those websites that I use don't exist anymore. So if
That
I can't
Hungry
figure that
Ewok.
out, yeah, then all my short stories will be gone. And then also, uh, hopefully, I'm able to transfer my videos over. Otherwise, the videos
Mm.
I've had set up will be unable to play. So it's a whole hassle.
Well,
But
in the Discord, I had sent this thing in the
oh yeah,
article slash.
something.
It was like an archive of all the Insider magazines. So I
Oh,
think
that could
you
help.
could, I think you could access the short stories through there still.
Alrighty, I'll definitely check that out. But yeah, because I before I started Heir to the Empire, I was trying to read Trouble with Squibs by
Mm.
Troy Denning, but only got 20 pages in because then afterwards my phone did that, so
Right.
I couldn't finish it. But from what I read, it was an okay story, so I'll probably just mention that it was fine in the review. But
Right.
yeah, but yeah, other than that, it's been working. Yeah,
Right. I know you've been putting out some Dune reviews as well.
yeah, because I have all the Doom prequels by Kevin J. Anderson and
Mm.
Frick. I keep doing it, Brian Herbert. So I wanted to read them.
Mm.
So I'm gonna read the Thrawn trilogy again. I'm gonna read the Dark Empire comics again. Izard's Revenge. Oh, and then of course Lightbearer now that's out, and um, uh, and then I'm gonna take another break, read another Dune trilogy, and then read the Jedi Academy trilogy. So just a
Mm.
whole lot of Kevin J. Anderson. So that's my plan anyway. But yeah. Yeah, I just did this on a whim because I was bored and I thought, I hadn't done it in a while. So
That's fair.
yeah,
I was happy to join. Um,
nah,
it's not exactly active, but it's still
yeah,
good to talk.
yeah, for sure, sure. I don't think I'm gonna do this for too long though, because like everyone's kind of heading to bed.
Mm.
But I guess it's right before Thanksgiving break is over, so maybe I've done it earlier in the week, but I just didn't find the time.
Mm.
So, but did you play Halo 2?
Halo 2.
Yeah,
Yeah. I've played all of them. Yeah.
Halo 2 is my favorite.
Your
I
favorite?
spent Yes, my favorite of the Halo games. I mean, 3 is more fun, but I like the story of 2 better.
Mm. So, what's your opinion of the anniversary version then?
I mean, I like the updated graphics for 2, but it looks a lot nicer. But
I mean, like,
um,
what I mean to ask is like, what is your take on like how they inserted a whole new scene with Spartan Locke and Arbiter?
I didn't like that. But it's also very short, so
Right.
it's over before it doesn't overstay its welcome to make me.
Mm.
I mean, I don't like it to begin with, but it's gone too quickly for me to hate it. So yeah, it's just an unnecessary thing in the beginning too. Maybe it was if it was the end and you
Mm.
pretended it on like expert mode or something, I'd be
Mm.
more forgiving. But it's like in the beginning of it, and it makes no sense with the rest of it. So
I
yeah,
take it that
but
you don't like Halo 5.
I'm not the biggest fan. I've heard that if you read books, it might be more tolerable, but you shouldn't have to read a bunch of books to But with the expanded universe, you have the 6 films,
Mm.
and you can understand those perfectly fine without anything else. Other things might help you appreciate certain films more, like Darth Plagueis with Episode 1, which you need that to get the story.
Mm.
And so if you need a bunch of books to understand your main plot and your main title, it's not good, in my opinion. Like, I know who Blue Team is because I've read Fall of Reach.
Mm.
But to anybody who hasn't read any of the books, they have no idea who these people are.
Right.
So, yeah, I can see that being really
I'm
jarring.
still early in Fall of Reach.
Oh yeah, I've only read the earlier sections where John's still a kid because I'm trying to read in chronological order, so it's got me skipping around a bit.
Right.
But, yeah.
Shoot. Because now we're talking about Halo, like that's got me thinking. Have you ever played any of the Wars games? I mean,
I've watched Let's Plays. I'm not much of a
you
strategy.
don't like RTS? Oh man.
I mean, I haven't done it since I was like in middle school, so maybe I'd be okay with it now, but I'm not the smartest guy, and I've never been that into strategy. I mean, I like hearing other people talk about it. Like, oh, hello, Zachary. Well,
Dark greetings.
I was dark greetings. I was talking about Thanksgiving, the Thanksgiving week, and then I started talking about my reading plan with the EU, and then we kind of jumped into Halo just cause. So we're kind of all over the place. But that's currently the topic is Halo. But yeah. Well, you were gonna say something, and then I saw the comment.
Hmm?
Yeah,
Oh, I mean, I don't know. I literally forgot. I just remember we were talking about like RTS, and you said that you like listening or hearing about it, but not necessarily playing it.
well, I've watched Let's Plays of it, so I
Mm.
know the story and everything. I haven't played it since I played it originally, I guess.
What about Empire at War?
Empire
Same
at
deal with
War,
that.
pretty much the same deal. Yeah,
Uh,
I'm just not into strategy that much.
I think more newer ones they're pretty like player friendly. Like I think Halo Wars is like a considerably easy RTS to hop into. Same with Empire at War, but
Like
something like
somebody like gifted me Stellaris for some reason,
oh
and
oh
I started it and I was still lost, and so I just dropped it. I mean, it looked
Stellaris is
really
not for
cool.
the
Yeah. No, I started. I mean, I like the idea of what I could do. Like build this entire like civilization and take over stuff and all this.
right.
I thought that was all interesting, but it was way over my head. My head's too small brain for that.
Stellaris is not it's not like strategy friendly that
No,
you
yeah, Zachary, I have not touched a Call of Duty game, at least like that I paid for and played completion since I want to say Black Ops 2 is the last one I genuinely played. I picked up other ones while like at friends' houses or at other things and played the multiplayer with them, but I've never once touched the pain of any game since from Black Ops 2. So maybe that makes me sound like a boomer, but I just haven't cared to bother. So one of my fondest memories is playing, I think, Call of Duty 3, and there was this Nazi pissing in a bush. They were sneaking up in this location, and so you bash him in the back of the head and not kill him, and he just falls. So he falls in his piss, and for some reason, I just thought that was hilarious. So I don't know why I remember that so much, but it was funny. So, but yeah, and then I remember Black Ops for the zombies and the story, which I thought was fun. But then they also did that Infinite or Infinity, whatever it was. I don't remember, and I didn't care about it as much. They brought what's his name? Freaking the guy from House of Cards, and I was like, why is he here? But yeah, I was never the biggest Call of Duty fan, so We can't really relate there. How about you? Have you played the Wars
Who?
Titus?
No, I don't care much for Call of Duty.
That's fair.
Never been my thing. I
Yeah, I'm
like
more
first
of a,
person shooter, but go on.
yeah. Oh, I was just like, I kind of need like Kevin Spacey is the name. Thank you, Zachary. I need like some sort of story.
Yeah.
I have to care about what I'm doing. Like I know some games, like Doom 2016. I try to get into, and there is a story, and there is more. But the main point of the game is just to shoot things,
Mm.
which is fine. That's what video games are for. But I wasn't invested enough to care to go through with it. Whereas like Halo, it's a
I
similar
think Doom
situation.
Eternal would be more
Yeah,
tailored for like story.
yeah,
If you're looking for that.
that's what from what I've seen anyway.
Mm.
But Halo, on the other hand, it's like there's stuff motivating me to keep going beyond just shooting things because that gets boring to me. And like some of my favorite games are like more story oriented, like Mass Effect, and Dragon Age Origins. Those are kind of more my cup of tea. I just want to be away from reality for a little bit when I play games, and that happens more when I'm in a fictional setting that actually trying to immerse me in its world. Which so it doesn't have to be story heavy either. It just has to Inside. That like little A game that came out a while back. It's fairly linear, and there is a story, but it's pretty vague. But there's a lot of atmosphere, so you can
What
kind of
game?
like just escape. Inside is a game a lot of YouTubers played back in the day. It's called Inside.
Oh, I don't think I ever heard of that.
Oh, it's a horror game. Especially on Limbo.
I see.
Both horror games, but and Modern Warfare 2, the new Modern Warfare 2, it's gonna be so weird talking to people that are like children. Because like they're gonna be like, "Do you like call Modern Warfare 2?" And I'll be like, "Yeah, I love Modern Warfare 2." And then I realize
You're talking about the old one.
yeah, this can make me feel really old.
I don't know why they
I love
use the same
zombies.
name.
Yeah, I didn't get that. Always because it's like a remake, but it's not a remake at all because it's like a new thing. So I just call it something new.
I can't wait for the new version of Call of Duty World at War.
Yeah, Call of Duty World at War 3.0. New story. No, what that'll be ready for us in 2040 when we get Modern Warfare 2, the remake.
Remake.
Yeah. New story though, so it's not even really a remake. But it's the Modern Warfare 2040, you see. So
Call of Duty Ghost, the remake.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah. What else have I done this week? Other than working, like I finished Dune, and that was fun. Or the Dune Legends of Dune, which takes place 10,000 years before the events of the original book. Reimagined. Yes. Modern Warfare 2. That's funny. I remember the betrayal. I won't spoil it for those children who haven't played it already. But Modern Warfare 2. I mean, you got betrayal. You got that infamous airport section, which was very. How old was I when Modern Warfare 2 came out? That was really hard for me. I felt very uncomfortable. That section, you're just mowing down people. Not people shooting at you. They're just people at the airport. It even gives you an option to skip the mission because of how messed up it is. And yeah, that was a talking point for a while with people. I remember that one. Now I'm feeling old. I am old.
An old man, Alex.
Yeah, and freaking it's November 27th, and by January 9th, I'll be freaking 22. Ugh,
You said 22?
Yeah. I freaking graduated in 2019.
Jesus.
And That was like a couple of years ago. That was like 4 years ago. Oh god, doesn't feel like it though, but it has been. Rushed in. Yes. That's how it went. But yeah, what's some of your favorite games, Titus?
My favorite games, like
Yeah, some of
man,
them.
that's such a hard question, man. Uh, I mean, you got me in a box now because like there's so many games that I like. I can just name things I like off the top of my head.
Yeah, give me a top 10
Top
favorite
10.
games. Doesn't matter if they're story based or whatever. Just 10 of your favorite video games
All right.
currently. Doesn't have to be of all time. Just currently. Currently can be like it's a game from 20 years ago, a game from last year. It's just something that you currently would place in your top 10.
Okay. So in that regard, I would say probably um KOTOR 2. Okay, that's in there. God of War 3. What else? Asura's Wrath. Um, it's another. At one point, Dice Battlefront 2. Oh, Greyholm has arrived.
Hello.
Dice
Hello.
Battlefront 2. I'm at 4. What
Yes.
else? The Darkness 2. Doom Eternal. Transformers Fall of Cybertron.
Really?
Yeah.
I know you're a big Transformers guy.
Mm-hmm. Something I started playing recently was it Overwatch 2, and I've always kind of been like mixed with Overwatch, but the second one's pretty fun, minus microtransactions and the good old corporate greed. Aside from that, I would arguably put it in there. Pretty fun. What else? But this is what 7.
Yeah. I
Should,
think so.
let me just look at something on my shelf. South Park Stick of Truth. There you go.
That's a fun one.
Mass Effect 2. I guess.
I have another question specifically on afterwards.
Man, just look.
And while you're looking,
Hmm?
while I'm just saying while you're looking, yes, Zachary, I love Fallout 4.
Hmm.
It has its flaws. It's less of a RPG, which is kind of a problem when you're called Fallout.
Right.
But that I'll answer this question too. And the Fallout series as a whole is definitely in the top 10 favorite games. That one probably would be definitely in all-time category, but I'll just put it in the as of now category.
I could never really get into them. I like New Vegas. That's the only one I could really like get into.
I like all of them. 1 and 2 I can't play though. I can only watch Let's Plays. I can't. I mean I get it. Isometric. It was of its time. And people that like it are gonna like it, but I feel like a lot of people that are my age or younger are just not gonna be able to get into it. And Bethesda would do well to just remake those games. The same story, but better, at least in my opinion, more engaging gameplay than sitting there trying to punch a rat when you clearly can. But the reason it's slightly better than, like, let's say Morrowind, is because it's isometric, it's top down. Whereas in Morrowind, I can see it. It's first person. I can see the damn rat. I punched it.
You gotta have
it in
high
the face,
fatigue,
and it's telling me I didn't hit it, and it pisses me off. It only works in top down because I can't actually see action. for real. I can just see a tiny person hitting something, and I can accept that it missed. But in first person, nah, I'm so pissed. I don't care if I don't have a high
That's
enough
why
skill.
you
It's
watched your
ridiculous.
Morrowind playthrough. I mean, how come you watched an
Yeah.
Oblivion playthrough?
I watched Morrowind and I'm watching Oblivion.
Why not play Oblivion?
I mean, I'm trying to. I'm trying to. It's just, it's so long, and I got so much stuff to do. I've been
Oh.
trying to play shorter games, because when I was when I want to make myself sound old. Hi, Great Home, by the way. Sorry, but when I was younger, when I was still in high school, I could just what I would do is not stay up late. I would go to bed at like 8 or 9, set my alarm, wake up at like 1 o'clock in the morning, because I essentially get the same amount of time I would staying up late, except that it's only bad when you first wake up. You're not like actively getting tired like you do if you stay up. You just feel like crap when you first wake up, and then once you get past that, if you can push yourself up, you'll be fine. And I just played video games till I had school, and it was great. But I don't have that kind of time anymore. So, our ability to wake up that early, my body won't let me.
I'm afraid those
So-
times have come to an end for me. Because I just have schoolwork now. Like I only ever gotten to really like game just like this weekend, like these 2 past days.
Yeah.
But yeah, Skyrim.
Yeah.
I put in there my top 10.
The only thing I'll say, because it's the same thing as like Fallout New Vegas and Fallout 3, is that I like fantasy. I love Lord of the Rings. I like Game of Thrones. I love sci-fi more, and I love post-apocalyptic stuff a lot. Which
So of course Fallout would appeal more to you than Elder Scrolls.
Fallout hits all those boxes, and it has the 50s aesthetic, which I really like. I like the whole 1950s cars, and the whole aesthetic. I like the Art Deco, which is another BioShock. Is another game I love for that sort of similar reason. Whereas Skyrim's like a bunch of forests and mountains, and like I get it,
Tundra.
but at the same time, it doesn't appeal to me as much as other things do. So
That's fair.
And before you go on with the rest of your list, Zachary says, honestly, top 10 for me, one would be Tony Hawk Underground. That's an awesome game. Also, I agree with the Bethesda opinion that I had. So yeah, I remember. I don't know if I would put it in my top 10 purely because, again, it's another thing that's not story heavy. Or I mean, I think there was a story. I don't remember, but that's not something that you really play it for. But I remember having a lot of fun with Tony Hawk Underground. But that's like a PlayStation 2 game. Gosh, I'm old. Oh man.
Man, oh man.
I'm really feeling it. But you were on, I think, 7 with your list.
No, I think I'm on 8.
Oh,
Like that.
I might count it wrong.
Yeah, 8. The original Battlefront 2. At this point, I have like 2 Battlefront 2s, the DICE one and the original one.
I need to play that. I have the 2 DICE Battlefronts, and I don't even play multiplayer because I don't have PlayStation Plus.
You've played the campaign?
I don't think I've ever actually bothered to play the campaign either. I just play arcade and spam abilities.
Zachary, we'll answer that after we get through.
The pandemic 10 ones are worth picking up. Man, what's another one? Aliens vs Predator 2010. That's really fun. And in my opinion, the best Dragon Ball Z game, Budokai Tenkaichi 3.
Yes, I agree.
It's a great game.
I was gonna also say as a joke, there's that really bad one, but it's nostalgic because I played it a lot.
The one on the Game Boy Advance.
No, it was a newer one. It was on the Xbox 360. It
wasn't Ultimate Tenkaichi.
I think so. I think that's the one.
Yes,
with
that's
all
the one. Rock paper scissors combat.
Yeah, that's the one that pissed me off.
Man, Ultimate Tenkaichi's not that bad.
I also played the the like movie tie-in Transformers game. I don't know if you know the one I'm talking about, but it was like open world,
Oh
and
no.
yeah, I remember playing.
Oh.
I could just be Bumblebee. I could literally just I I could just drive around the city and turn into a Transformer at will, and that was kind of cool. I remember nothing about the story though, because I don't think I ever played the missions because they sucked. I just stayed in the
They
open
did.
world and just messed around, which was fun. But
Those movie tie-in games are like devoid of a lot of things, but the Cybertron games by High Moon, those are peak.
yeah, I'll have to check them out. Great. Is that 10 for you?
I
Or did you only 9?
think.
Great home.
Yeah, I think it's
you are you a
Yep,
gamer?
what's up? Not really.
Fair enough. Well,
Not
do
a
you have
gamer.
to?
But I've played a lot of the old D&D video games, like
Okay.
Icewind Dale,
Icewind Dale.
Baldur's Gate, Neverwinter Nights. Those are really fun.
What about Planescape Torment?
Planescape's the only main. Planescape and Neverwinter Nights 2 are the only ones I haven't played yet.
Planescape's the only one I own, and that's purely because I learned that I could play the game without really having to aim if I try really hard, and I hate turn-based combat, so I was hoping that I could just talk my way out of everything. So, and a lot of reading. Like I hear there's more reading in that game than there is in some novels, so I'm interested in doing that.
Did you watch a playthrough of Planescape Torment, or did you
I haven't watched anything on Planescape. I bought it, and I've yet to play it. But,
I
got
also
it
have it. I just
I know
haven't
Chris
played it yet.
Avallone writes it.
Yes.
Chris Avallone was in on Planescape. He was also in on Icewind Dale, though I think more of a designer than a writer. But I could definitely see a lot of his influence here and there in small little bits.
Mm. Well, get to Zachary's question. I'll do, I guess, right now, what are my 10? And I might have to lump in franchises together because I don't know if I could pick one. Kind of like with New Jedi Order. I mean, if you ask me my favorite book in New Jedi Order, I guess I would say Traitor, but I love New Jedi Order as a whole. So, but for games, well, of course, the Fallout games are going to be on there. All of them, even 76, which has many problems. I still enjoy exploring the world of Fallout. I think what Enterplay and then later Obsidian are good at is telling like a well-structured story all around with a great narrative. And Bethesda's not really good at that. They haven't been since Morrowind. They kind of have a very basic main plot, and they excel is side quests and just exploring the world and environmental storytelling. I think they beat Interplay / Obsidian in that department in terms of having a world that's actually interesting to explore, because there's a lot of empty space in New Vegas that doesn't really have anything there. Whereas Bethesda's going to fill that up and you're going to find interesting things. Maybe you'll enter a building and there's nothing really in there, but you'll find 2 skeletons on a bed holding each other because a couple just decided to hold each other before the bombs went off. And that's environmental storytelling. And that's great. And 76 has that in abundance. So is it the best one? Absolutely not. It's very flawed, but I don't think it's absolutely horrible either. Like some people, it was very broken when it launched, but at this state of the game, it's good. I'd also put the Mass Effect trilogy on there. That's another one. What, Titus?
You would never touch the Mass Effect trilogy again?
No. I'm talking about I said before I get to that question. I'm talking about my
my bad.
No, you're good. You're good. No, I love the Mass Effect trilogy. That they're some of my favorite memories growing up were of those games because I played them a lot in middle school. Is when I first found out about them, and I love the story of 1 and 2. 3 has a terrible ending, but the journey before getting there is really great and memorable. Another one, but of course this is kind of how we started this video game discussion, would be the Halo franchise. At least Reach to 4 and the Halo Wars games. Infinite's okay, but as a whole, I still love the universe. And at least from what I've seen so far, a really cool expanded universe. Um, yeah,
Comics are a
so
bit hit or miss.
probably. I mean, so can Star Wars at times, depending on Empire and Rebellion are
Oh no.
not that great. And then there's the 70s comics of Star Wars, which you either love,
Or despise.
yeah, because they're very of their time. So you either vibe with it or you won't. I wasn't born in that era, but I could appreciate it despite that. I understood I was going to it. It was going to be very silly, and I just had to kind of like not take it that seriously. And I went into it with that mindset, and I quite enjoyed it. Though I do think the newspaper strips by Archie Goodwin hold up significantly well in terms of story and in terms of the artwork. Those are still good. Also, thank you, Zach. I appreciate that. Besides my mic breaking at like every other second, I appreciate that. What's another one? I'm trying to think. There's so many. BioShock, the BioShock franchise, BioShock's 1, 2, and Infinite. Art Deco really appeals to me. The whole art style of it being like futuristic from like a 50s perspective. And Rapture, the underwater city, just is filled to the brim with that sort of aesthetic. And I love 50s music now because of BioShock and Fallout and stuff. So I love hearing it in there. And I am a religious guy. And so I find it really interesting. I mean, then they would, kind of tug the other way with Infinite. But I thought it was really interesting to have an entire society where, it was do whatever you want. No God, no rules, only men. And the result of that was a destroyed city with a lot of bad things going on. Which it introduced me a lot of concepts before I even really thought about them. So I thought that was really great. And plus the plot twist is really great. The game pretty much falls flat after the plot twist of the first game. But in the second game, you get to play as a Big Daddy, which is pretty cool. And Infinite, a lot of people don't like because it's not the same as the first two. But I still appreciate it. I enjoyed the story. I had the hots for Elizabeth when I was a wee little teenager. And then I felt really grossed out when I found out she was my daughter in the game. And I instantly stopped thinking that way. But even though she's not my daughter, she's the character's daughter. But for some reason, that made me be like, oh, I can't feel that way anymore. Silent Hill 1, 2, 3, and 4. Downpour's okay. Silent Hill 1, 2, 4 is one of the best horror games, best experiences you could ever have. And there's an atmosphere that exudes from Silent Hill that's unlike any other thing I've ever experienced, whether it be a video game, a novel, a movie. Nothing has just enthralled me as much as Silent Hill has. It is very dated gameplay, but the world that you get to be in for a little bit is just captivating. So that's another great one for me. The Half-Life games. Half-Life Blue Shift, Opposing Force, Half-Life 2, Half-Life 1 and 2. And you know what? Since we're on the Valve train, I'll just also throw in Left 4 Dead 2 as another one. And also the Portal games. Those are going to take up 3 spots right there. I have to put all the Valve games in there because they're just absolutely phenomenal games. Not only do they usually tell a pretty good story, but the gameplay is really fun and really innovative for the time. Like what? Half-Life came out in 1999, and it still plays. I mean, it's dated now, but it still plays like a modern game for the most part, surprisingly. Even though it came out in 1999, that's how ahead of the curve it was with things. And Half-Life 2 still looks phenomenal because they chose to went with a more like stylistic look that they gave to all the people. It definitely looks older, but it still looks. There's a lot of games coming out now. These indie games coming out now. It's still ahead of the curve there. So, it's pretty
Valve
great.
makes some good looking games.
They did, absolutely did, and I've loved every single one of. I freaking Portal 2 is probably one of the funniest
Peak.
gaming experiences.
Peak.
One of the freaking Wheatley, like in the beginning of the game, is like, if you understand what I'm saying, please say yes or Apple, and you just start jumping. He's like, what you did there's jumping. I'm gonna take that as a you understand me. He's like, you may have a minor case
Of brain damage.
of brain damage. It was like the game is it's just peak writing. It's so good. And I think I got like 2 left. This gets a bit harder now. I think I will throw KOTOR 1 and 2 on there, just because those are one of the first things I experienced with the expanded universe. It was those 2 games, Darthbane novels, and then I kind of jumped around till I got to Return of the Jedi, and then I pretty much read everything through after that.
Played KOTOR 1
Yeah.
as a 6-year-old, I think.
Mm.
With assistance, of course, but it was basically my my main video game introduction. Either that or Icewind Dale, I forgot. But either one was my main video game introduction. So as much as the turn-based combat gets some people, I actually am happy with what we have.
Yeah, that's the only part. I mean, I think it works better in KOTOR for me because it they don't look like they're stopping. Like they're still continuously doing things.
Yeah, it's better than Neverwinter Nights or something.
Yeah, where it's just like everything completely stops.
Where everything stops. Baldur's Gate and Icewind Dale aren't too bad themselves.
Yeah.
Because it all happens quite fast.
Yeah.
Which I really like. But yeah, it was a good illusion of being not turn-based.
Yeah. And I think I have 2 left. It's really hard. I think the Evil Within games. Don't know if you guys know about those ones. It was meant to be it was meant to be a spiritual successor to Resident Evil. When they came out a few years back, but few games have actually managed to scare me. But I was up at like 2 a.m. in the morning before school started, and I got up, I put on my headphones, I turned on my PS4, and I started playing Evil Within. Evil Within 1 I don't remember scaring me as much, but I played Evil Within 2. And you get to this section where this like big giant lady with long black hair screeches very, very loudly. And she comes out of this mirror. And that whole section was just terrifying. There was also, because it's the PS4, this little speaker on it. So whispers kept coming out of it. And remember, I'm like half awake. It's like 2 or 3 a.m. in the morning, and I'm hearing whispering in my room. So I'm starting to get freaked out because I don't believe that anything's gonna actually come and get me. But now I'm kind of on edge because it's early in the morning, which means it's still dark out, and no one's awake but me, and I'm just hearing all these noises, and it was just a really good experience. I think freaking being scared is one of the greatest highs you can ever get outside of drugs. If you can actually manage to be scared, it's a rush. So I had a lot of fun with those 2 games, so I think I'm going to put that there. These are not top 10, they're just currently what I remember really liking. And lastly, I'll go with Deus Ex, the Deus Ex franchise. I really enjoy the. What?
You sound exactly like Yoda.
Oh, my like a robot again.
No, the that's it.
Dang it. Am I still a robot?
Yes, you are here.
All right. Alrighty. Hold on. All right, Titus, take it away.
Take it away.
Yeah, answer the question.
Oh man, nah, bro. You go first.
No. But I can't even speak right now. My mic's now. My internet's breaking.
I can speak, but the answer is none because I haven't played that many games.
That's fair.
Fair.
Hey, Jedi J.
If we shifted it to movies, on the
Jay
other
is
hand,
here.
We can do that. But I know that Titus has played games. So
That
Yeah.
is true.
So go.
Well, man, in that case, I suppose I'll just list the games off the top of my head. Jump Force, terrible. That was awful. A terribly bad taste. What else? Dragon Ball Z Battle Z. Never again. Never ever again. It's another one. I know everyone loves it, but Metal Gear Rising: Revengeance, no.
Hi, Christopher. Oh my gosh, Christopher Nelson's in the chat.
Christopher
Doing my
Nelson
own
has
special.
arrived.
This man, he leaves in his community tab talking about me. He freaking mentions me in the history of the EU fandom. And now he's here commenting on my video. I feel like the king of the world. Oh my goodness.
You are
The
honored.
great Christopher Nelson in our truly.
Send him an invite.
Thank you. I mean, he might be. I mean, he's. I don't know what time it is for him. He probably needs to sleep. But
Probably, alas.
being a dad does that. So, but it's good to see you. There we go. Hello, Ghostfish.
Ghostfish has arrived.
Hey, good to see y'all.
Dark
Hello.
Greetings.
Dark greetings. Welcome to the Moffrins.
Oh no, I can't take that.
Who's
That's
going?
Noah's thing.
Who's Noah's new co-host? Has he just abandoned the whole idea?
Well, there was a couple contenders. I was gonna be one, but also I like Denning, so that's a big no-no. So it's between me.
Every stream would
like-
just evolve into, well, I hate him, well, I don't. Blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So-
that would be absolutely hilarious.
Yeah, I mean, I would keep my
But
mouth
whatever.
shut on his channel,
Mm.
but you know. So
Who
I'm
else is
like
on
a
the cards?
contender.
Blue Pig?
No. Oh my goodness. But I mean, oh look, we got all the chads here today.
Hey, what's up,
Hey.
bro? Why you streaming so fucking late,
Boris is here.
Hey, it's only 10:32 p.m. for me, okay?
man?
It's 2:30
1:30 here.
Bro,
I've joined live streams at around this time. So I
Yeah,
don't
that's
know
fair,
what you
fair.
bro, that's
Yeah,
what happens
but-
when you live in Uganda.
I was gonna
dog.
say,
Fuck that time zone.
I liked your X-Wing reviews, and I liked... I'm actually kind of surprised
you.
that he didn't... I was watching some of Matt's stuff recently, and I was surprised. I actually knew a few things he didn't.
Oh, well, that's because Matt is Matt. His brain
Matt
leaks.
is an infamous brain
The
leaker.
brain leaker.
Yeah. But like he was talking about like how the giant stormtrooper section didn't feel like Star Wars, or that whole place. That's because it wasn't. Those Marvel Comics issues were originally going to be like Flash Gordon, or I think actually Warlord of Mars. What he calls? What's his name? John Carter. But Marvel lost the rights, but they'd already finished most of the art, so they just drew Stormtrooper armor over some of the giant people. and called it a fucking day. And they
Those
wrote a
com-
story about
those-
how these are aliens who got recruited by the Empire.
A lot of those
I love
comics
those
feel like
comics.
that.
Like the recycling, the blatant recycling is just.
Yeah. I love them
Uh,
though.
Yeah, there were some other weird. I wonder if he's going to recognize Captain Harlock because he's getting up to the part where Lando's in disguise,
Right.
and that's basically Captain Harlock with his skin and his eye and his hair color swapped because Lando's
Slight
black and he's
tangent.
wearing a wig instead of a brown haired.
Just
Right,
remember, do you all remember Barney? Probably not. It was in a Star Wars annual. And Han refers to Lando as the guy with the mustache. And Barney as the black guy. Which I just think is one of the funniest little
There's the,
things
black,
I've read in
there's
one
the
of
guy
those
with the mustache.
comics.
And although that does remind me of, I was listening to Brian Daly, R.I.P.'s audio
Yeah.
plays of both the mission to the what do you call it? The mission to Ord Mantell, which is also something Matt forgot the name of the guy in it, and one of the Star Wars, and he was that was the two of the short stories from the Galaxy magazine were based on Brian Daly stuff, and he missed the characters. Fiola of Lord, who was the chick in the second Daily Han Solo book, and the bug bounty hunter from Mission to Ord Mantell. He didn't recognize them. Shoot, what was the other one?
I mean, you probably know things better than I do. Because I'm not as brain leaky as Matt, but there's a lot of
Yeah.
things that finer details that I
My
don't
brain
tend to
is
remember.
sticky for all of the wrong things, and it's leaky for all of the important things I need to do at work.
Yeah, like when you know stuff about ships and stuff, and what gun would work better.
And I
against
forget
this
which
thing.
customer I was talking to 5 minutes ago. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
it's
All
an
that
annoying
stuff
way the
flies
brain
over
works.
my head. Yeah.
Oh,
I mean,
a
it's cool
slight
though. like,
tangent
you know,
from the repurpose thing. What do you guys think about the theory that the Crystal Star was originally a Trek novel?
I can see Trek elements in it, but I don't buy that theory. There's too much of a focus around the mystical side of things.
which Trek tries to avoid.
I mean,
Unless
they've
you're
got their
Space Nine.
Betazoids, and well, TOS had a lot of, like, every other episode written by the original creator is going to be a godlike alien or a human.
Yeah, they
ascending
have to not
godlike
actually
being.
be a god. That's the thing. They have
But
to always make sure that all the things
superpowered-
that they do
Yeah,
is scientific.
they have
Somehow.
godlike aliens or super psychic humans. Blah blah blah. They'll have a super psychic in every fucking episode. So, but that's TOS. By the time of TNG, they didn't do that very often. There was the Q, and that was basically it.
And
But-
Deep Space Nine was a bit more into with religious.
They had the prophets. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. But that's
Apparently, there
nerd
is some
stuff, and
novel
nobody likes.
where
No, I was kidding. Keep going.
there's some novel or comic where like Q fuses with a prophet and like fucks shit up in weird
that
god battles. I'm
was
just
that-
like, this is a
that
little
wasn't
bit
in
silly,
the-
but it's kind of
That
funny.
wasn't in the lit verse, was it? I don't think that was.
Fighting paw wraiths or something.
Was that in the Litverse, Ghostfish?
I don't know which verse it was in, but there was just something where Q fused with a prophet, or a Q fused with a prophet. I'm not sure if it was John Delaney Q or not, but
I'm also gonna read not all of it because there's a lot, but I'm gonna read some Star Trek books
yeah.
at some point.
What else
I
was
wanna
I
read the-
trying to?
Sorry.
Oh yeah, back to that topic. Like, and the entire thing with the kids and the dragon, that was definitely not Star Trek at all. Like the entire Solo Babies plot.
That
Was
was the
definitely
best
not
plot in
Star
the
Trek.
Crystal Star.
Huh?
That was the best plot in the Crystal Star.
Oh, I loved it. I like
Yeah,
almost all the
it
Solo
was
Baby
so good.
stories, even if they're ridiculous.
Exactly.
Like I
Exactly.
love
I
to
agree.
reference the fact that Starfighters of Adamar had like a kind of mocking jab at Jason with a lightsaber at 2 years old in the Jedi Academy trilogy, but I still found most of the stuff that the children did in those stories very entertaining to be some of my
Yeah,
favorite parts.
same.
Crystal
Same.
Star, Jedi Academy trilogy, all of that. even if it is ridiculous that they keep getting kidnapped, the stories that result are usually pretty funny.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
they
I'm
somehow
do we-
wander off.
advancing
Do we need the
chronologically.
blob race with the children?
No,
No.
were the children
Did
at the
I
blob
enjoy
race?
it?
No.
Yes. No,
The blob race was just Lando and the droids, I thought.
It
Oh,
was
sorry,
just-
you're right, you're right.
Yeah,
But my
the
point
kids
is,
weren't there for the blob
There's
race.
a bunch of used stuff in those books, but I still
Yeah.
enjoy the hell out of it.
Yeah, the children in the first book they get on the wrong elevator and end up in the lower
Isn't it
level.
the dumpster thing or something?
Okay, that
Dumpster
one
king or
I
something.
I actually like Dark Apprentice more than Jedi Search until I saw what level 1 was like. I honestly felt level 1 should have been a lot scarier.
Yeah, there's no way that's actually level.
I don't
well,
think that it can't be actually level 1.
yeah, well, the most of that district is built near the Minari Mountains, so level 1 there is a lot higher than
Oh,
level
yeah.
1 somewhere
Good
built
point,
that
good
used to be
point.
an ocean, or like that.
Yeah.
Those
So,
Jedi
yeah,
Apprentice novels.
that's
are
kind
so
of
fucking
my
good.
headcanon for how sometimes level 1 will be
Well,
absolutely terrifying, and sometimes it'll be kind of a walk in the park.
Yeah,
It's
that
just-
one was almost just a walk in the park.
Tazar,
yeah,
did you want to say anything more other than the Jedi Apprentice books are good?
What'd you say?
Did you want to say anything more just that the Jedi Apprentice books are good? Because you kind of were getting cut off.
Oh yeah, my bad.
No, not you. It's yeah.
Oh yeah,
Who?
my bad.
I don't hear them. Oh,
Uh,
I had to click play again. I literally couldn't hear him. I'm so sorry. It's one of those things with the chat.
It's okay.
yeah.
Tazar.
Those Jedi Apprentice books are so good. Like I think those were like some of the first EU books I ever read. They're just so good. It's such a shame
With
that what?
with Obi-Wan and Qui-Gon.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
with Obi-Wan and Qui-Gon, yeah. Uh-huh.
Yeah. Mm.
Because I always
Oh,
thought Qui-Gon was kind of like underutilized in the EU, but just,
Absolutely.
Oh, for sure. Okay, this is apparently Lucas restricted a bunch of characters, and Yoda obviously is one main one, but apparently Qui-Gon is also one.
I don't understand why
And I think
Qui-Gon
even
would
I think
be.
even Padme got restricted.
I
They
can understand
restricted Qui-Gon? There was
Padme.
a lot of Qui-Gon stuff, though.
No, not really.
Jedi Apprentice
we got
stuff.
Jedi Apprentice, and it was
The other
basically
thing,
just Watson.
Jedi Apprentice stuff. He was in what do you call it?
Uh,
The one with the pirates and the Trade Federation. Both the comic. He was in the Stark Hyperspace War comic. He was in. I think he was in the
An Orient Express, or whatever it was called.
That's a bad comic. It's horrible. Oh my
I
god.
haven't read it.
the what comic?
No comment.
The Orient Express, where
And
Oh.
I think they added one
and
letter in front of it,
Yeah, that's
or 2
cute.
letters.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but
the other one is
no. I mean, I wouldn't say that Qui-Gon was like a really fleshed out character in the EU. Like he had that one series, which was the Jedi Apprentice
And
series.
then a
which was
few
really good.
comics here and there, but that was
Yeah,
it.
like-
He didn't
They don't
get,
really
like,
go
his
into
own
it.
novel. You
What
was
don't
it?
get a
Labyrinth of Evil?
backstory with
No, not
Qui-Gon
Labyrinth
and
of Evil. It's
Dooku.
the other one. It's by the guy who did Plagueis. What is it?
Lucino, Cloak
Lucino?
of Deception.
It's Lucino did
Deception, yeah.
Cloak of
something with
Deception.
Qui-Gon in it.
Cloak
Cloak
of
of Deception.
Yeah, I
that's
mean
it.
he's but he's
He's
not the
in.
main
Well,
focus.
okay. A character being in it and him being the main character is two different things. Like
No, I know. That's what I'm saying.
And
That's a good
also,
point. That's a good point.
Lucas didn't protect
like
them.
Lando is in a lot of stuff, but he's never really the main character in almost anything
Yeah.
in the EU.
That's why
Which is a
Last
shame.
Crisis is good.
I
I
really
think-
want to see
But
like Lando and Tendra doing like crazy venture capital stuff,
Yeah, for
where
sure.
like they find companies with crazy premises and decide whether or
That-
not
that
to
would've
invest in them.
that would have just been great.
Yeah,
No, here's the thing. Like, I don't understand why Qui-Gon would be restricted because by the first movie in the prequel
died.
trilogy, he was dead. He's dead.
No. Okay. I should probably clarify. I think when Lucas restricted them, he didn't restrict their use for just like general stuff, but he restricted their origin story, so that you couldn't get like Dooku Qui-Gon novels.
That's
I
fair.
think. Or young
Yeah, I understand
Padme
that, but you
Rebels,
can
or
tell.
young Yoda, especially young.
Oh yeah,
Yoda.
well, I
You
understand
forgot
young Yoda, but like
that one
Qui-
obviously. Yeah.
yeah, but Qui-Gon, you don't have to have him with Dooku. You can have him because he was a Jedi Master before. After that, I mean,
yeah.
like that's a lot of time.
Well, here's the question: they could
He
have
was
done
like
it
60
after
when he died.
Revenge of the Sith, but they didn't. They could have done more with Qui-Gon and Dooku after Revenge of the Sith, because then the story that George Lucas wanted to tell would have been done.
Yeah,
They never did.
Yeah.
I think
Actually,
that-
George Lucas didn't
opportunity.
even check the EU stuff after New Jedi Order, so they theoretically could have gone nuts.
I mean,
More
he
or
checked a
less.
little, and he checked a
He
little.
checked
bit.
a bit, but he didn't. He didn't read
I
like
mean,
the
Dooku
full
novel would have gone
premise
as
or
noticed.
anything.
yeah. I would just say like, I think that was kind of a missed opportunity because I think Qui-Gon in the movie, like Qui-Gon is the best part of the Phantom Menace. There's no debate about it. Like his character just interests me so much. Otherwise, like no other character in that movie is like really kind of like interesting at all.
Oh yeah, he's
Jar
by far
Jar.
the best character.
I don't hate Jar Jar, but I don't really care.
I
No, he's the
understand the
best
reasons for
character
Jar
ever.
Jar. I appreciate Jar Jar, but I don't love Jar Jar.
I don't love Jar Jar, but I never understood the hate either. He's fine.
Yeah.
He's
You
not
know what
as
it would
annoying
be?
as people say.
You know what would have been interesting for the Gungans is like how they would have explored like their relationship with people like the humans on Naboo. That would have been interesting, but no, there's like, oh, they
That's
just
true.
live under the water. They just live under the
will say-
water.
I will say, Star Wars. I don't know too much about the Star guy, but OG Star Wars was talking to this guy a couple weeks ago called Orange Hat Reviews or something. Even though it's not a hat, it's a beanie. But anyway, they were talking about episode 1, and they were talking about Jar Jar, and I thought what he talked about was kind of interesting because he talked about how everybody thinks that Anakin's the most tragic character, but it's actually Jar Jar because he's like the most innocent and like not a bone of evil in his body, just like this nice guy that's stupid, and he, helps save the day in episode 1, and then by episode 2 and 3, he's basically just used as because he goes from a loser to being the representative of his entire race. That's what his role is in episodes 2 and 3. Is he's just a representative of the Gungans because they didn't have a representation before that in the Senate. They now do because of what he did in episode 4.
Yeah.
And so it's just this nice dude, an average, not that smart, but just trying to help out people. And he gets used by Palpatine for his own end. It's
Take
like everybody
I
else up.
definitely noticed that this watch through of the movies. I started the Phantom Menace last week, and now I have Return of the Jedi left, and that's me done. But it definitely was something that struck me while watching Attack of the Clones.
Yeah.
Like I was just comparing Jar Jar and the Phantom Menace to Attack of the Clones.
I
So
think,
I watched them a day apart.
I think Attack of the Clones was a real course correction for Lucas. I think he kind of like, oh, people hate Jar Jar and they hate all the crap that was in the first movie. Okay, I know how to fix this. Let's just make a movie that culminates in a huge battle. That's just what we want. Like that's just what everybody wants. Like they just want a battle. And that battle was really good. I mean, I think the Battle of Geonosis is probably the most impressive Star Wars battle on screen.
It's
Maybe
the most
not
impressive ground
technically.
battle for sure. It's the most impressive ground battle.
Yeah.
It has a lot of impressive moments, but the infantry parts of it make me cringe every single time.
Oh, I will
Just
say this
Stand
that's
up,
because
walk
you are
towards the enemy,
cool.
and shoot.
I'll say that's because you're cool and care about everything, but for an average person like me who's not paying that much attention, I don't think they would care. But I appreciate that you care that much that you're able to notice these things.
Thanks.
I mean, if you gotta freaking put your disbelief to the side if you watch Star Wars. I mean, I just had to do
A little
that.
bit.
I mean,
I'm
a lot.
True, but
military
I just
thing.
like when people actually use cover. At least attempt
Okay, that's
to
fair.
use it.
That's fair.
And-
I mean, it's what cover?
What cover was there in that arena?
Yeah, I don't
Well,
remember.
not the
there
arena
being-
parts.
there
It's
was
the parts
rock.
later where they're just kind of walking
Oh,
next to
dude.
their
Yeah,
out and just
I
getting
get what he's
shot.
saying. It's not
They
about
do it
the-
again
the-
in
the kinda
TCW, and I'm
dueling
just like,
arena.
oh no, please,
No,
please
no,
just
no,
use
no,
the
no.
cover.
TCW has a clone trooper literally walk up to a droid and try and
Yeah,
punch him
punch
in
it.
the face. So
Yeah.
I think this is not TCW level.
Yeah, I mean, look, I'll just say this: like that battle in the arena was just so epic. As like a little kid, and it's like I screamed so hard. I was like, yes, when freaking, because I had seen the original trilogy before I saw the prequels. Like
Yeah.
on, so I thought what they were gonna do is what they did with Boba Fett um in Empire Strikes Back, where you originally think, oh, they're gonna kill Boba Fett. No, but he escapes at the end of the movie. I thought they were gonna do that. I thought Django was just gonna fly on out of there and escape. But no, Mace Windu literally finds this guy and cuts his head off. It was awesome.
I love how
Mhm.
there's, if you pay attention, there's a shot where you can literally see the head fly out of the
Yeah.
The head fly out of the helmet.
helmet. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Which is always found it stupid when like movie reviewers, like Nostalgia critique the movies, which some of the points were valid, but then they said
I find
a
it
stupid joke
very
like, why didn't the
obnoxious.
head fall out when the kid picked up the head? Like, did you watch the movie? If you pay attention,
Yeah.
it flies out. So just
it
watch the
actually
movie
gets a lot
properly.
worse.
Yeah.
You know that Rick Wally guy?
Yeah,
Oh,
I know.
the diner,
Yeah.
the
He
diner owner.
went after
Oh, who were you asking about?
Rick Wally, this guy on YouTube who
Oh,
He makes the defense.
he
of the
defended
Oh,
the special editions and defended the prequels.
oh,
I
I thought you were talking about Dexter Jester. I don't know why.
No.
I know you're talking
this
about
Rick Wally guy. He went after the so-called YouTube critics very hard and brought up
He
a lot
did.
of valid points.
He did, yeah.
Like I think one of them one of those so-called critics went after the Phantom Menace and how the pod race was shot when the guy had no clue because George Lucas actually shot it exactly like a chariot race. But the guy was
Right.
busy going on about, oh, why is it going like this? You should be flipping the camera. I lost track.
Yeah.
But
Yeah,
it
well-
was a very stupid argument from someone who clearly didn't understand cinema.
I mean, George Lucas isn't the cinematographer for that scene, so I mean, he probably just wanted to be like, I don't know, just like how, I think George
It was
Lucas.
Ben-Hur
Yeah,
that he
he
was
wanted.
homaging.
Yeah,
He
I
said-
think it was
I think
Ben-Hur.
I read an interview. He said that my two biggest inspirations for that scene were Ben-Hur and Bullet. There's a movie called Bullet with like freaking
Racing, yeah.
I should definitely send that
Well,
those videos that
Lucas loved
Greyhound's
racing.
talking
We
about
know
in the
this.
Discords.
yeah, but
So,
They're very good.
yeah. I mean, there's a lot to critique the Phantom Menace about. I'm not a big, I actually prefer Attack the Clones. As bad as that
Same.
movie is, I prefer it
Right.
over the Phantom Menace. Like I don't know.
I honestly
I like one more.
Attack of the Clones. I like both. I just think Attack of the Clones is slightly better.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, I'll just say that Attack of the Clones has. I played that movie over and over again as a child. I thought the movie was great. I mean, I only watched
I
because
remember watching 3 the most.
once Qui-Gon died, I was like, oh, this movie sucks. Because I really like Qui-Gon. I was like,
Darth Maul, though, in the first movie.
Darth Maul was cool.
Yeah. He didn't do much, but he's still a very eye-catching, especially if you're a child and you see that.
I always thought bringing back Darth Maul was stupid, though. I was like, oh, he's not dead. I was like, I always thought bringing back Boba Fett was stupid too. I was just like, let him die. Like,
Nobody dies in Star Wars.
I know. I was like, well, fuck it. Then bring back Django. Then
Like Greyhound. I'm probably gonna end this in a couple minutes.
Okay.
Because it's almost 11 over here. It's probably almost 3 o'clock for you guys. So, but yeah, I'll definitely send those videos in the Discord because I think even if you don't agree with all the points, it's definitely worth a different perspective on some things. He does go very hard on those all those YouTube critics from the early
You
days
all
of
know the
YouTube.
best defending the prequels I've ever seen.
Hmm.
Have you ever seen Mahler's EFAP on the prequels?
Oh yeah, I've seen those. Yes.
That's Mahler tore those other guys who were shitting on the movie apart. Those movies apart.
Yeah.
Like he'll
Yeah.
make his own criticisms, but he's generally pretty honest. Biggest
pretty
issue is he
fair.
insists on doing everything in chronological
Yeah.
order, which results in a lot of repetition that could easily be condensed if he didn't. But at the same time,
Yeah.
not doing it in chronological order doesn't let you set up this what happened here,
Yeah.
and that's why this thing that happens later doesn't make sense. So there's ups and downs.
No, I just remember watching that Mahler of the prequels. And he's like he was just like yelling at one guy who was making these ridiculous ass points. It was like, oh, this fucking sucks. It's like, no, it fucking doesn't. Like, you're fucking stupid. You don't understand what's going on here.
Yeah. I mean, there's definitely valid points to the prequel dislike, but I think there's also
I think
a lot
the
of good things in it that are ignored. I think.
I don't even think they're ignored anymore. I just think people have like understood that like hating on the prequels at this point with the sequels out is just like an argument that's like because they used to say, well, they used to compare the prequels to the originals, right? Now all prequel defenders have to do is bring out fucking the sequels, right? And then it's like
I won't get into that too much, but I mean, I have watched them, so because there's two different directors, it's two different visions, and they did not collaborate like an EU authors would. There seems to be no direction, no purpose, and not too. I'll give this, even though I dislike the eighth film. I think there's heart. I think that Rian Johnson genuinely cared about what he was pushing out there. I just don't think it was very good. Whereas I feel like the flaws you might see in the prequels, there's so much love you can clearly see in each work that you don't really see in other films. That's all I'll say on that, because I haven't watched them since they came out. And
well, the thing about the prequels that works is like they feel like connected. Like I don't like some of the fucking like 7, 8, 9, like 7 and 8 or 7 and 9 feel connected, but 8 is just like in the middle. It's like, what the fuck?
And then 9 just is like, none of that matters. Forget it. So,
yeah, it's like.
Anyway. But the EU never did that. Even then, that's why I love about like Noah. Like when he continues the EU, when he eventually makes all that stuff, he might think that what those previous people did is garbage, like J. Abrams did with Rian Johnson. But they'll not virtually say, "Oh, all that stuff, forget about it." No, it happens, but let's move forward from that garbage and make good stuff. But it happened. It's fine.
The fact that J.J. Abrams has the nerve to call anybody else's filmmaking garbage is fucking hilarious. Like that would be.
Well, we could talk about J.J. more when me and you eventually talk about Star Trek together, but in depth. But
he's a fucking hack.
No, he made Star Trek Star Wars.
He made Star Trek The Fast and the Furious.
Yeah. Yeah. Not even Benedict Cumberbatch can save it, no matter how good of an actor he is. But
I think the cast was actually pretty good. I just think the the cast is good, but the writing and the fucking Dutch angles he was always doing and the lens flare, like, oh god.
I didn't like the reversal of the scene from Wrath of Khan.
What?
The reversal scene of what they did in Wrath of Khan. They did a reverse where they did, instead of Spock, it was Kirk. And I'm like, but I didn't feel they earned that. It was just like, oh, remember? In the other film,
What?
it happened
Here's
a different way.
here's the thing that doesn't work with those movies. They will never earn anything because, like, the thing you have to set up for the original Star Trek movies is like you had already known Captain Kirk and the crew
True.
of the Enterprise for almost years at that point. So it's technically Captain Kirk in quotation marks, but you
Yeah.
haven't seen him on this Enterprise for years. You haven't seen him go to different worlds. He's like, it's just like, it'd be like if they made if J.J. Abrams, God forbid, God help us if this ever happens, made a Deep Space Nine movie and
Oh,
fucking Cisco just starts out in New Orleans and then he just becomes captain of the station. Like,
he doesn't even start. He doesn't even become freaking what all the other people are. Captains in Deep Space Nine. He starts off as like a
commander.
A commander. Yeah, he has to earn up into the captain even in that show.
So just be like, yeah, hold on. And like
Cisco's my favorite, by the way, and I'm gonna defend that forever.
Yeah, he is mine as well. He's like,
Yeah.
that'd be like them skipping over the entire Starfleet Academy. Like, like,
Who needs?
it needs training.
No, we don't need trading. Yeah, but
I still think the Litverse is like the best Star Trek.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty it's pretty
Yeah,
entertaining.
I'm gonna read that. I'm gonna read the Eugenics Wars. I'm gonna read the Enterprise books that take place after the show. I'm gonna read Tarek Noor just because I want to know more about the Bajoran Cardassian occupation.
Well,
There's also
you're not going to read the Peter David novels?
I mean, I'll probably jump back and forth, but like I'm gonna skim around everything. I mainly want to focus, just like I did with the first time around, and read the stuff that takes place after shows in the movies.
Yeah, I understand that, but I just think the New Frontier books are a great starting point because it's like there are new crew, new everything. It's just like it felt like how do I describe it? It felt like my crew. It felt like you have Luke and Leia and all that stuff, but then there's like a character they create, and it's like, oh, that's the first real EU character, and you follow that character. That's what I think Peter David did with the New Frontiers.
That's fair. I mean, I'll definitely check it out eventually. It's just also money because you have to pay for all that. So I did have them all by other means on my phone, but then my phone broke. So, and I don't know if I'm gonna be able to transfer it over. So it's a whole bunch of stuff that I may not have anymore. So, which means I'll pay the right way. So it'll take longer to get through it. But yeah. Then I also got to do Babylon 5 books as well. So I have a whole bunch of stuff, which I'm gonna look forward to.
Yeah, for sure.
Especially the ones that are focused on Lando with the Orlando. Sorry, with
Lando.
Lando.
Oh yeah, that reminds me. They actually had, when you were talking about Lando with the mustache and the black, because they did the radio play for Return of the Jedi so much later. It could include more EU stuff, like they have a little Mara cameo and a mention of Shadows of the Empire's Coruscant trip. But B, nobody but Anthony Daniels came back for it. And Billy D didn't come back for Lando, even though he was in Empire, and Hamill had been in both previous radio plays, but they didn't come back. And the guy they got for Lando he wasn't black and didn't even try to sound like it, so it was very, very jarring.
Imagine though, if in those radio plays he talked like Lando Malari.
Lando Malari. Yeah. Okay, so
Glory of the Centauri Empire.
The Centauri Empire.
Mr. Garibaldi, it can't be that bad.
It pisses me off that majority of the Babylon 5 main cast is dead.
Yeah.
That upsets me.
Sad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was also
And
pretty
now they're
upset
making it
when
a remake, which is probably
I don't-
gonna be bad.
I was
mean-
pretty.
I mean, it might be good. I doubt.
I mean, here's the thing. Like, it might be bad. I can't tell you it would be good, but here's the thing. I
I
trust
just have been
JMS.
disappointed so much.
I know.
Hard to have hope.
Yeah, I know. But here's the thing. JMS, like, he don't usually attach himself to garbage. So,
Yeah.
Yeah.
If it's good though, I would pursue act.
what the fuck are you talking about?
I don't know. He's been a little bit of a clown lately, so who knows?
Well, I'll say, if it's good, I'm going to actively pursue acting just for the sole purpose of being a sort of character on that show. I don't care if I die. I don't care if I have only one line or no lines, or if I have a whole bunch of lines. I just want to say that I've been on Babylon 5 if it's good. If it's bad,
Yeah.
I don't want any part of it. But I will pursue it.
If it's bad, then
you'll-
it'll probably be
yeah.
canceled before you get the chance to even get into
Yeah,
acting
so
anyway.
true.
So
That's so true.
I don't know.
Yeah.
So which shows you're gonna start with, Alex, in Babylon 5?
That's a good question. I'm probably just gonna go in chronological order. So I'll start with the first two books in the Psychor trilogy. I think the last one takes place at the end of the show because it.
Oh, you're
has
not
to
gonna
do-
you're not gonna read the ones that are not considered canon.
No, I'm gonna
Okay.
only read the ones that are considered acceptable within the shows.
Good, because
Continuity.
those other ones are mediocre too.
Yeah. But the one the only one I've read up to like 200 pages of the one with Londo.
Yeah.
I forget what it's called. I didn't get to finish it because I don't know. I kind of fell off, and then other things happened, and I kept reading the EU, so I just never got back to it. But that's the one that deals with.
Are you gonna do video reviews of it?
Yeah, of course.
Oh,
when I get
okay,
to it.
cool.
I mean, they're not going to get any views except from people like.
Except for me.
Yeah. You'll be my one viewer, but I
mean-
will be them.
I mean, but here's the thing. I remember reading that first Psychor book. It was really good. Like that first Psych. Like I remember when Matt said like the Psychor was like the least interesting part of Babylon 5 on one of his streams. I was like, are you serious?
I mean, here's the thing. I like everything in Babylon 5. I do think I would say that they are the weakest, but that's only because everything else.
You
is
don't
so
know
good.
it. Yeah. Well, also they didn't really expand on them that much.
Yeah, that's true. I like what I saw. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
Like, there are other things that interested me more in the show, but like, what I love is that I started with Star Trek, which I think was to my benefit, because I saw my boy from Star Trek pop up 5. Freaking what? Oh my god! How am I forgetting? Freaking Chekhov.
Yeah, Chekhov.
To see him be a completely different person. I learned this man can actually act, and he acts incredibly well. He's so great and every time he pops up, he's so
Walter
much
Koenig.
fun. Yeah, Walter
Walter-
Koenig. Koenig. How freak I can't
Yeah, Walter
speak.
Koenig. Yeah, he was good in Babylon 5. Really good.
it's funny. Like everyone forgets that he's still alive because unlike the other two main survivors, he doesn't fuck around on Twitter all day.
It's true. Yeah, if you are just living your life and not, saying stuff, then nobody cares about you. But if you start saying stuff, then
No,
people think-
he's talking about how George Takei and William Shatner
Oh,
beef
okay.
with each other on Twitter.
Yeah.
Yeah, which is
It's also weird that he
if I-
outlived the younger version.
like let's just say all of you, if I worked with you guys on a show for years, even if I had political or religious or whatever disagreements,
I don't think
with
it's
you guys,
political
I-
disagreements. I
No,
think it's just
I-
that they hate each other.
There's a
Yeah,
little bit
okay,
of politics,
regardless.
but it's mostly just personal, I think.
Okay, well, even if it was personal, I would never, ever publicly insult or denounce any of you. If I was that upset, I would talk to you privately. I just think that's
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
not an adult thing to
Yeah.
do.
Well, here's the thing. Why can't Avery Brooks come back to Star Trek?
Avery
I-
Brooks is just retired. The dude's just living his life. I don't know what he's
Yeah.
up to now. He's occasionally
Yeah.
recorded music, and he's pretty good at it.
Avery Brooks is Captain Cisco.
After
right?
hearing him sing in a DS9 episode, I'm like, has he done anything else? And I
oh
looked
my
it up.
God.
Yeah, he's done a couple.
But anyway, I mean, I was happy they're bringing back Janeway, but I was like, can we please get Cisco back? I'm like,
Speaking of singing, is
to
the
go.
person here who talked to the Sopranos cast here?
no, that's Matt
no.
Tukey.
Okay. Because I tried to reach
Yeah.
out to Vinny Pastori, but he didn't want to listen.
Oh. I sing shout. For what that. So if you want that kind of singing, actually I've heard a pretty decent song, but it's whatever. That was from a vocal coach too. So.
So
But-
someone's apparently made a whole Elder Scrolls mod, ported over the Elder Scrolls mod to Crusader Kings 3, and that looks really fun.
Oh yeah.
Oh really?
Yeah. A whole
Oh.
Tamriel,
Can we?
bits of Yakuda.
Okay. Can we talk about the Elder? I don't know if you guys, because I really like the Elder Scrolls lore, but it's so inconsistent. Like as a world, the lore is like so inconsistent. It's
It's because people lie. That's the thing. Like
I know, but that's why I can't
most of
get
the
into
history
it.
is related to you by in-universe books, and those people
No,
just
it's-
fucking lie.
Well, it's
No,
also
it's-
because the
it's-
writers.
No,
but
no.
it's okay
No.
If the
You-
writers have an actual answer, and they're just
No.
not telling you, but they don't. They don't actually have an answer to.
No,
lot
they
of
do-
things. They're just
They do
letting
not
you.
have an answer, and let me tell you why.
It's just an excuse.
Because so many people who wrote that shit are not long-term employees of Bethesda software.
Right.
Like the
Yeah.
people, the entire Morrowind lore is written by a guy who is high on drugs and has
No, it's
schizophrenia.
not. He wrote the sermons, he wrote a couple other pieces, and he did the concept art. A lot of Morrowind's other
fair.
lore and quests were done by people who were veterans from Daggerfall, or otherwise came in from at the same
Because-
time as
Or
Kirkbride.
Daggerfall even have the much
Kirkbride
lore.
was not the main one. He's just the one who wrote the most openly weird stuff that people gravitated to.
You know why
That's
it's
fair.
so weird? I didn't know this. He has schizophrenia, so that makes a lot of sense.
That explains it. But yeah, a lot of people will take like fan fiction written by Kirkbride while not under contract or written by his wife, who's like a fan artist and fan fiction lady, and treat it as canon when it's very much not.
The
I
lust
mean,
Yagami-
Elder Scrolls canon is such a joke anyway, so it doesn't even matter.
Especially since ESO came out.
Eh,
Did
so,
you, did
so-
you know
so-
that
so
Ysgramor
why-
wrote a Storm Matronek in the shape of a bear? You can buy it for like $5 as your mount in Elder Scrolls Online.
I mean, here's the thing. Like, it's so inconsistent because people keep churning at the company, and that's fine. But it's like they don't have a Bible that just says here. It's like, you know, it's like so whatever the next game is, like, oh, that contradicts something we want to do. Fuck it, toss it out.
Oh, I am
you
I am not looking forward to all the contradictions Daggerfall is going to suddenly receive. Because I know that, like, Kirkbride, particularly if they hire him back again, really doesn't like Ebenarm. Because he's, like, blonde and he feels it kind of weird that one of the gods that is also worshipped by the Red Guard is, like, this white dude. I'm just like, who cares? He's not just theirs. He's a couple different religions acknowledge his existence.
I just
Dude,
I just
relax.
I just think it's so inconsistent that you can't even like people's like make these whole channels dedicated to it. It's like, why would you follow something so fucking inconsistent? It's like,
Yeah.
Well, I mean, that's the thing. There was, circling back to Star Trek and space station shows, there's a literal reason they cribbed that line from DS9 in Skyrim. You know the line I mean, right?
I think so, but what is it?
Garrick's line about, it's all true, Doctor.
Right.
Even the falsehoods? Especially the falsehoods.
yeah, but
Yeah. It's only okay to do that if the writers have in their own minds and have agreed together what is the truth, but they spread out all these, you know, because a good writing, you put, if you want to have a world that has a whole bunch of different interpretations, then you write a whole bunch of different interpretations, you know, that, you know, some are more valid than others, and you make that seem realistic to real life. But then you yourself, the writers behind it, have to have an actual, this is the truth.
yeah,
And we
that's
know
On
that,
one hand,
but they
yes, On
don't.
the other hand, sometimes it doesn't matter.
I guess. But I just feel that if you're writing a fictional world, then there has to be a truth, like an objective truth behind everything. You don't tell the audience, but and they don't have that. They're just, well, let them interpret it. But we don't have an answer.
I mean, I just think the writing in the Elder Scrolls games have gotten progressively like it peaked at 3, and then 4 it was pretty good, and then 5 it's like, oh, like keep it simple, stupid is the motto here.
What I found really funny is there's this guy named Lore Runner. I sent a couple of videos of his on different servers that had the gaming section, and it's really funny because he Ghostfish that he has like a lot of similar like paths that I think Ghostfish would appreciate, but he had the pen with him, and he would click it kind of like a drinking game every time he had to go when he was, because the whole thing of his lore run is that he's not really playing the game. He's just trying to get through the story and talk to you about the lore of the game. So he had a counter for the amount of times that he had to say debatable when discussing the lore of whatever topic. Because there's something just like, I can just say this with absolute certainty. This is the fact of the universe. And wait for it. Here's the part where it becomes debatable. And I just thought that was really funny.
I'm trying to find a video of the orc quoting Garrick from DS9.
I mean,
okay.
I'm just like, I don't know what happened, because I really love Fallout 3. Like, I really like that game. And it's like, why couldn't you just make every game after that, like in terms of lore and everything like that, fit in that kind of thing? Like, why'd you do this? Like,
I mean, Bethesda has Fallout 3 has a terrible main plot. It has a lot of great side stuff, though.
No, I know it has a terrible. I know it has a terrible main plot. I mean, it's awful main plot.
I'm still trying.
But
to
I
find
mean, I'm just talking like the side in the world. I think the world side.
I think Bethesda still excels at that, even with 76. I think the worlds that they make are great to explore, and there's a lot of interesting side stuff to learn. Main area where they flop.
Yeah,
I'm still trying to find the video, and you're not going to believe what I got.
I know.
I'm still trying to find just the orc quoting the fucking DS9 line, and I'm just trying to, especially the falsehood, Skyrim, and it's just, can you beat Skyrim without breaking the 10 Commandments? That's not what I'm searching for, but you know what?
Yeah,
you've got me, YouTube. I'm going to click that.
Anyway, what was it saying? We didn't have a stream one time where we just talk about how I think I suggested you just one time how like Fallout as a series has progressed to a point where it's like not even recognizable anymore, other than the IP.
Yeah.
I mean, I get it. I get why people are. That being said, I still enjoy 76. It has a lot of flaws.
No, I'm not saying you can't enjoy it.
I'm just saying
look, the day that 76 gets true private servers, I will buy it.
That's fair. I go to Fallout 1 to New Vegas for the overall plot, because let's be honest, Fallout New Vegas is an empty space.
Oh, I agree.
Fallout 3 and 4 don't. They have so much interesting stuff to find almost everywhere.
Actually, I kind of disagree. Fallout 2 and 1, I don't think have a lot of empty space. I don't know.
That's more of the open
an
world
overworld
games.
map that's literally nothing but empty space, but whether you count that or not, I suppose.
No, you know what I fucking mean.
Yeah, I know. Well, that's different because it has levels, basically.
I know. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about interesting side activities in those games.
Yeah.
You can, like, when you go into the hub in the first Fallout game, that's an interesting fucking place, okay?
Yes.
When you
New Vegas,
go...
though, I don't think has that as much.
New Vegas?
Yeah, which was made by Obsidian, which is from people who play. Whereas I feel that Bethesda, where they fail at the main quest, excel in environmental storytelling and side quests.
How much of it that you think is budget constraints and time constraints? Because
I'm sure, but you
remember the most famous example of this was Caesar supposed to have on the other side of the river, because so I think who was it? Was it Fergus or was it Chris Avalon who gave a talk about this? I don't remember, but. In the game how Fallout New Vegas, correct? Like, the Legion is the most unattractive option to go to play as, to accept. And the reason why is because you only see one side of them. One. The NCR is nuanced. Mr. House is nuanced. And if you want to pick my personal ending, Yes Man with the hack chip, just go
You create
full.
your own nuance.
Yeah.
It took
You-
me so long to realize Mr. House is Odo. I just want to mention that real quick.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
once I learned that, I was like,
So
It took so
Mi-
long to make you realize he was what?
Odo from Deep Space
Oh
Nine.
yeah, rest in peace.
yeah,
Yeah.
And
for sure.
Andrew Ryan, his equivalent in the Bioshock games, was Quark.
Yeah.
So if I
What?
had a thing for every time
Yeah, for sure.
I didn't
two-
know this.
the two comic foils in DS9 played
Andrew Ryan.
characters inspired by Howard
Yeah.
Hughes, I'd have two
Howard
nickels,
Hughes, yeah.
which
Howard
is
I
Hughes.
didn't know
not a lot, but it's
But
weird
but
that it happens twice.
here's the thing.
Sounds
As-
so different.
Is a Ferengi not entitled to the sweat of his own brow?
No,
I
no.
need to
Well, he's
at
not
one
gonna
point
talk
have him
like-
say that.
He's not gonna talk like Quark, so yeah.
I know.
There's
But,
a couple times you can hear it, but only a
But
couple.
here's the thing. As I was saying earlier, Mr. House has nuance. He has positives and negatives. Same with the MCR. The MCR is bureaucratic, slow moving, but they provide stability and a rule of law. It's flawed, but they do have benefits. What you see of Caesar or Kaiser, whatever you want to call him, is a despotic regime that traffics in human trafficking, slavery, in racism, and a lot of other stuff. And he's just a warlord. You see him as a warlord in football attire. But
Yeah.
Alex, do you know what they were planning to do in the game if they actually had time to finish the game without the rush deadline? Right? you were suppo-
I believe so.
You were supposed to go over the river into Arizona, into Legion
yeah.
territory, and people there
Mhm.
were supposed to explain, "Hey, the Legion, it's got a bad rap. It's got a bad rap for sure. But here's the thing: the caravans are safe. There's no crime. There's no nothing. It's like an argument for a military dictatorship. It's an argument, but it's still there.
Again, that's more of a main plot thing. I don't have an issue with that, and I realized they had things constrained. I actually exploring the world and seeing environmental storytelling. I don't think, at least in Fallout New Vegas,
I don't think it would have entirely been a main plot thing. There would definitely be side quests there.
Sure, but like I used in the beginning of the stream, for example, when I was talking about like my favorite games, and I mentioned Fallout. I mentioned how like when you play Fallout 3 or Fallout 4, or even Fallout 76, you enter this building. There's no story. Maybe there's a couple enemies. You reach the top floor. There's a bed in there. Maybe a house. And you reach the top of the bed. You reach the top, enter a room, and there's two skeletons holding each other on a bed. Right? That's the story in of itself. It's a couple probably were holding each other right before the bombs went off. That's the actor that gets me into the world. Like this world existed even before I came into it. And that's the stuff that I think Bethesda's good at. I will say to counter, they didn't have enough time in Fallout New Vegas. Well, they did have time with the Outer Worlds when they made that game. And that game feels so empty from the places where they have the story.
Well, I agree, but you got to understand, a lot of the people from Fallout New Vegas have left. Do you know the head writer of Fallout New Vegas? What he did after that?
No.
Horizon Zero Dawn and Horizon Forbidden West. He wrote the stories for that. And if you've ever played those games, you can feel it.
Who did?
The head writer for I think his name was John Gonzalez or whatever, or one of the head writers. I don't know if he was the head writer at Obsidian, but he was one of the head writers, and he wrote Horizon Zero Dawn and Horizon Forbidden West after he left Obsidian.
Those worlds also feel kind of empty though. But
Have you even played those games?
I've played the first one. I haven't played Forbidden West, so I can't speak on that one. But I can say on the first one though.
Kind of felt a little empty, but the second one I played, I loved it.
That's
it's like
fair.
but what was I saying? Yeah, it's I think it's like I just wish Bethesda could get better at a mix. Like if you could just mix it up, have have a good side activity and good main quest. Like, here's the thing,
Yeah.
like
Well, the
If
way
you
they
d-
could do that is just all the people that are left from
fire,
Obsidian into play.
firing Emil would help.
Well, I was gonna say collaborate with Obsidian and actually work
No,
together
well,
to make something.
it doesn't matter if you're collaborating with the city if you have Emil who's literal went on stage one time and said, "You know what my writing philosophy is? Keep it simple, stupid."
Because they're just going to make paper planes out of your story. No, if it's a good story, they won't. But if it directly tries to grab them too hard, then yes, they're going to buck against it and rebel. So don't make it about their player character's family.
I mean,
Or if
yeah,
it is, resolve the family plot quickly, like Mountain Blade Bannerlord, which I've been playing a bunch of.
I mean, I could tell immediately, like as soon as I got out of the vault and Fallout 4 where this is going. It's like, yeah, there's gonna be like some secret
That being
societies.
said, it still had the best gunplay out of all of them, which was nice to be able to actually aim and shoot, and it felt nice.
The gunplay is
Fallout did.
okay, but I think that the damage system is
Yeah, I mean, the
the
gunplay's
damage
the
and
best,
armor
but it's
system
definitely
is
games that are
inferior to
better.
the New Vegas.
I can
because,
see that.
like,
Like I
The
said, I had
ever
more fun playing
increasingly
Fallout 4
bigger
than-
numbers, they don't have much
term-
meaning because there's serious diminishing returns on armor value.
Yeah,
And once you upgrade a weapon so much, you can just one shot everything. Like
I know it feels kind of good though to be like, I earned this, and then you just
yeah.
They
Well,
could have
that's really-
honestly been better served
not
if the one
realistic,
thing you
but-
couldn't upgrade on your weapon was the damage.
yeah.
Except maybe some early game weapons like
Can we
Kendall.
also talk about how the factions in Fallout 4 are just like useless and like so uninteresting?
Well, I like the Brotherhood, and I like what the Institute is trying to be. I find the Railroad absolutely boring. Maybe I'm a heartless bastard because I also feel this way about Star Wars and pretty much everything. I don't think robots have souls. I don't think that they count because even if they're emulating, even if they truly feel like they have emotions and they're, that they are people, this is all. I mean, unless you can somehow bypass programming, which I find hard to
but the
believe.
Gen 3s are like half clone, half robot. That's the weird
I
part.
just found all of them.
I just never felt bad for the
I just
Sims, so I
found
didn't
I
care.
just found all the factions extremely, especially the Minutemen. The Minutemen were so
Minutemen
like
boring.
just like, oh, I have a quest for you.
needs your help.
Yes, that's what happened. Like, literally, once you did, it's like, oh my god, it's like,
Man.
I just feel like the fucking Brotherhood in Fallout 3 was just like so superior in every way. Like, not only did you have the Brotherhood in the Fallout 3, you had the Outcasts. Like, that was so cool. You didn't have
Yeah.
anything like that. It's like, huh?
The Brotherhood in 4 was just the Brotherhood from 3 merged back with the Outcast and acting like they're the Brotherhood from Tactics.
It kind of came off like the Enclave a little bit, just less.
Yeah, but that's kind of how the Brotherhood in Tactics acted.
yeah.
Extorting farmers, running gulags, and they're still relatively the good guys. I mean, you play as them.
I mean,
but-
wasn't their main thing just the synths in Fallout 4 though? Like, they
Yeah,
just
and they're
really
like-
hate. But if you
and
don't care
instead
about
of
the
just
synths like I
destroying the
did, then you
synth
don't have any
factory, they
issue with
destroy
them.
the entire building because
Sure.
Yeah, I mean,
No, I
mean-
said the Brotherhood the first time.
I would,
played
I
it.
would,
did
I
not
would.
feel bad.
This is what I would have done. Okay,
Victorium.
this is what I would have done. Okay, like I would have had a faction in the Boston area that was like an Enclave remnant that had like left, like had been they've already been destroyed in DC. They're pretty much wandering the wasteland anymore, and a couple of them is like, you know what? This cause is like doomed. So why don't we just become something else? Why don't we just like become like, I don't know. We'll just become less dicks, and maybe we can do something with ourselves. That's what I would have done. But the Brotherhood in the fucking Fallout 4 is just atrocious. It's fucking bad. Like it's just like ugh. It's like, why can we just get John Henry Eden back here, please? Like.
too expensive.
Yeah. Probably.
Yeah, his actor
Oh,
was very expensive.
How'd
It
you
was
say the new-
Malcolm. What's his name? It was the same guy as
Malcolm McDowell.
Chancellor Valorum, right?
Malcolm McDowell, I think, right?
Yeah.
I don't think Liam Neeson would cost that much money to bring back. He's fucking a has-been.
Liam Neeson, ever since his wife died, has basically just been doing whatever projects people throw at him to fill the time because he actually really did love her, and he's kind of just doing anything he can to not sit and think for too long. Which, God help him.
Yeah. Well, on that depressed note, I think I'm gonna end it because it's 11:30 for me. And
All
it's probably really late
All
for
right.
you guys.
Much
All right,
later.
see you,
I'm
man.
gonna end it though.
All right.
Well,
Good night.
See,
before I end it, to bring it back to what my channel's originally about, I want to ask you all your favorite EU moment before we leave.
I can't choose a favorite food, let alone a favorite EU.
Man, that's a
One of
hard
them,
one.
not the favorite. One of them. that
Well,
comes to
then
mind.
probably basically any scene from Iron Fist, except the part where they're in disguise as stormtroopers, because there is no way you are fitting a fucking Twi'lek's head tails into the stormtrooper helmet, no matter how tight you squeeze.
I mean, fair.
Okay, when Luke in the first Dark Empire fights the Emperor again, I
That's
love that
pretty good.
moment.
Oh,
That's
another
like-
naked Palpatine fan.
It's not that he's fucking naked. It's just like, wow, we're back. We're back here again.
Somehow, I thought I finally got past it, but
No, you're never getting past it.
no, I guess not. Oh, Titus, are you still alive?
No.
I've been here this entire time.
All right, just wanted to make sure. What's your favorite EU moment, or one of them,
My favorite EU moment.
or one of them? Not
Well,
the
let me-
favorite.
Well, I'll give you a jokingly favorite moment. The scene in Shatterpoint where Mace Windu fights off guards while naked.
Yeah. All right. Oh man, my favorite part of Shatterpoint is when it ended.
Stop being
You
a,
gotta
shat-
pick, like,
stop
a
being a
favorite-
Shatterpoint hater.
You
Stop
gotta
it.
pick like
I
one
can't
book and
help
then
it.
say a favorite moment from it. That might help.
Yeah. Wait,
Imagine being a Shatterpoint hater.
that's me. That's fair. You can watch my review. I talked about it. It's not a bad book. It's just not for me. It's for completely
not
different
Bounty
reasons
Hunter
from Matt
Wars.
Wilkins. It's not. It's not Bounty Hunter Wars. If we're comparing it to that, by golly, Shatterpoint's the greatest thing since sliced bread. But
I was gonna say,
hey, I already reviewed it. I didn't throw Shatterpoint. You're still here. That's
Yeah,
crazy.
I'm trying to
Oh my
think of.
goodness. I didn't hate it. It wasn't for
Oh.
me.
favorite. Oh yeah, I was gonna say. You know what the worst thing about the audiobooks for the abridged audiobooks for the Wraith Squadrons are? They literally
What?
cut the best character. There is no catch at all in the first book and a half. He's briefly mentioned in Iron Fist because he's Wedge's disguise, but he's not set up in the first book.
Hmm.
And there's no scene of Ketch escaping in the third book
Hmm.
and running around on Mon.
Alex, are you a Jodo cast enthusiast?
You mean the guy that dresses up as Boba Fett?
Yes, and one of the characters of what was that game on the plate? That shitty Star Wars fighting game.
Was Jodo cast in Masters of Terrascasi? I thought it was
Yes.
just normal Boba.
No, I think they're both in it.
I think he's a skin. You can just use the orange skin.
I enjoy when he got beat up in Twin Engines of Destruction.
I kind of hope he got away from that,
I
just
hope he
because
didn't.
he's useful as an RPG antagonist.
That's fair. But I mean, I kind of hope that he didn't, because he
Entirely
thought
fair.
that he
He's-
could pretend to
I-
be this guy and not
I
face
also
any
really like
repercussions.
his shit,
How stupid are people just to think this guy is like, oh, this is Boba Fett? Like,
and he's
yeah.
I
flying
mean, the
around. in a-
outfit's pretty convincing, at least from the comic. It was
Yeah, all he
virtually
needs
the
to do is
same,
replace
minus
the
a couple
helmet with the
different
red one.
colors. Yeah, he had like a yellow helmet. It's like the only
like
difference.
an orange visor versus a red one, but that's about the only difference.
Yeah, so if you didn't
Um,
actually ever meet Boba and only had heard of him, I can
And he
completely
didn't know
see
what
why
the
somebody
Slave
would just,
1 looked like.
yeah, that I could see why somebody
Because
would
the
just
Fox
like,
Catch is very clearly just a really cool tricked out Lambda shuttle, which I really liked.
yeah.
And honestly, I was kind of hoping, because they had a spare
I-
Lambda shuttle lying around that had been damaged, that, I know Disney canon, blah blah blah, that his ship ended up being basically just the Fox Catch
I
because they had a spare Lambda shuttle.
I always loved when Jodo Kaz got bullied by all the other bounty hunters. Like that was always funny to me. Like
Yeah. Dengar's like, what are you doing? You suck. You're not doing it.
Although,
not gonna
speaking of
make it.
which, speaking of Johto and disguises, Side Trip should not have given away who was in Johto's armor at the beginning. It would have been much more fun as a twist. I'm not even a
Yeah.
big twist lover, but they left enough clues that anyone who's
Yeah.
like, wait, who's writing this book? They're talking about art an awful lot, and Zahn is one of the writers on this contributor.
Yeah, that's true.
I've got an idea of what might be going on.
I mean, I enjoyed the story enough. I guess
Oh, it
it's
was
the
an
same
excellent
problem. Yeah, I think it'd be the same problem with like Hand of Thrawn, because you know from the very beginning, even if the characters don't, that it's not really Thrawn,
Yeah,
which means
but
the characters have to catch
it
up to what
not
you already
being-
know.
Yeah, but with that one, that worked because the behind the scenes of those was so fun.
yeah,
Every time that Flim was the one who came up with an idea that made Thrawn sound smart instead of having to rely on Dizra and Tierce, every time Flim came up with something, I was like, you go, boy. Kick some butt, you con artist bastard. You can do it.
Alex.
You're rooting for this little slime ball. And he's
Speaking of
great.
Hand of Thrawn, we're gonna talk about Hand of Thrawn 45. Why I'm not ready to this stuff, but he seems so divisive. Like some people like hate him or think he's the greatest thing ever.
Well, I hadn't
I've
heard
never heard
anything about him until I joined Noah's server, and Noah hadn't read them. The only one who had is some dude named Demigol in the chat, and he sung his praises, and he actively crapped on Denning all the time. So I'm like, so this guy made continuations of the Denning verse, but you're saying you like them even though you hate the Denning verse? He's like, yes, it's so much better than the Denning verse. I'm like, well, that's interesting because I like the Denning verse. Do you think even if I like them that I would enjoy these? He's like, well, I think they're all garbage books or whatever, but these are legitimately so much better than those. And
Interesting.
and it doesn't hate on, it clearly doesn't like the stories that came before, but it doesn't hate on it. So if you wanted to read them, you could read them after the fact, even if you like them and be okay.
I kinda
Like,
like that
okay, I'll
idea.
check them out.
But
Though I
like
haven't
said,
read those yet. I've only read I read the conclusion to Coruscant Nights because it doesn't end. The Last Jedi just, oh, I guess I'm gonna go back to the status quo, and then we never learn what happens to him. Like what? And I hate Last Jedi, by the way. Not just the movie.
Mhm.
I also hate the novel. Also, it did a conclusion to Republic Commando, which started out okay for me and died by the end of Order 66, and Imperial Commando was super forgettable. But
yeah,
his
everyone's
conclusions
acting
I
so out
thought
of
were really
character
good.
by Imperial Commando that I just
Yeah.
couldn't bring myself to care.
Yeah, I really enjoyed Hand of Thrawn's conclusions to both those stories, though. So, and it brings Ashrod Het, which is maybe a little fan fiction-y, but it's before he goes to Tatooine.
That's total.
So it's able to fit.
It's just-
It's before he goes to Tatooine. So I mean, what did he do before he went to Tatooine? That
You
story
know,
tells you.
This reminds me, I kind of want to write something similar. Like, because Jubilar is brought up in Last One Standing, The Tale of Boba Fett. And it's also brought the fight that Han is in.
Hey guys,
And it's
go
also
ahead,
brought up
David.
in
Oh
the
yeah,
Han,
yeah.
in the
so-
Crispin.
yeah.
You have a good night.
Yeah.
In the Crispin books, as Jubilar, after he won, he felt king of the world and actually tried to take a swing at Gareth Shrike. And also, it's implied that Shrike had just enrolled him in the fight, but in the fight, he's in there because he lost at cards. And I'm just like, this is a minor contradiction that I could make a little fiction to fix.
Yeah.
Where Shrike basically sees him cheating and using a trick that he taught him, and he's like, he's cheating. You only know that, and another one of the cruises, you can only see that because you taught him that trick. Yeah, but it's still careless. Even I shouldn't be able to see it. So basically snitches on him and is like, and then bets on him in the arena.
Mhm.
I think that could work because it kind of fits Shrike's character to be kind of a perfectionist with his slaves.
I'd read it. No.
Yeah.
Well, I think I am gonna officially end it because it's almost 12 here. So, well,
My
thanks
only
for coming
condition
on.
is just not knowing how to do the narration parts, like
Yeah.
how editorializing the narration should be about what's going on, etc.
Yeah. Well, thanks for coming on, you and Titus, and Tizdar,
Alright.
even though he left already. And thank you for
You
asking
guys
if
have
you're
a
still
great time.
here. I mean, that was crazy. I can't believe he commented and was still around this late. But
Yeah, God
if you're
bless.
still here, Chris, I have been listening to a whole bunch of the Big Finish audio dramas that are available on Spotify of Doctor Who. So that's been something I've been doing. But yeah, thank you for coming on, Ghostfish. And I don't know if I'll do this again. December's a really busy month, but if I do, I'll
Yeah.
try to do it earlier. Maybe on a day
Alright.
off, or maybe I'll do it Tuesday or something because that's my day off.
Good work.
We'll see.
Good work. All right.
But anyway, well, see
Thank
you
you.
next time.
Bye.
Bye. I'm ending the live.